What would happen from the fallout of the No Mercy pay-per-view? Well, we'll tell you as WGS-TV reviews Monday Night Raw for the week of September 25th, 2017. Hey YouTube, are you ready for your hot tag? Because if you are, it's definitely time to warp.
Hi, this is Buster Graham and you're watching WGS-TV.
What's up, guys? I'm the Wrestle Gamer. Welcome back to another episode of WGS-TV right here on youtube.com/WrestleGamer and on vid.me. I am your friendly neighborhood Wrestle Gamer, Double B Bully Boudreaux, being joined this week on the Raw review by, of course, our resident music mogul, the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Weather's starting to cool down. Got me a nice cup of coffee. Let's have some fun.
Off the heels on what I thought was a semi-decent show from WWE and No Mercy. By the way, quick question, Lance. What were your quick opinions about No Mercy?
To be honest, it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and so because of that, I was actually looking forward to Raw for once. Now, would they WWE keep it up, or would they once again fall flat on their face? To answer that question, let's talk about Raw. Up with Miz TV with Roman Reigns as a special guest. Now, Lance, from the way it appeared to me in this segment, they were using this segment to start a new angle. One for Roman Reigns against the Miz, which was obviously the route they were going to be going for that one. But there's a lot of speculation, and I think this is something wrestling fans have been wanting to see for quite some time. And could WWE finally be pulling the trigger on this with the reuniting of the Shield?
To be honest, it makes no damn sense, which is another reason I think they're going to do it. Because old Mr. John Boy just passed him the torch Sunday. So, hey, let's put him back with his old group.
Yeah, but isn't the reuniting of the Shield something that wrestling fans have been clamoring for quite some time?
Yes, but, okay. Main reason I think it's kind of insane to do that right now, like right after the main guy of the company of the last, hell, basically since like '02, I believe, just passed him the torch. Hell, do it like right after next WrestleMania, maybe. Give him a little bit of time to try to become the guy.
Yeah, the matches that the segment did set up for the night were Reigns versus Miz, non-title, with the news of Jeff Hardy's shoulder injury, it would be Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan taking on Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. I'm going to give the opening segment a 3 out of 5. What do you think, Lance?
Yeah, and that's being kind because, well, I'm not really a big Miz promo guy.
Yeah, Miz just has a certain uniqueness about his promos that get fans to hate him, and when you're a heel in the wrestling industry, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get wrestling fans to hate you. But anyway, now to the tag team match. I thought it was a very decent tag team match for what it was. Now, I'm not sure how long Jeff Hardy will be out or how severe the injury to his shoulder is, because on the Raw Fallout, they did mention that after being in the business for 25 years, that this was Jeff's first serious injury. So I kind of expect him to be out for at least 2 months. But what do you think about this, Lance, about the way they're using Jason Jordan as a possible replacement for Jeff Hardy in tag matches with Matt?
Well, I mean, he came into the company as a tag specialist.
Well, yeah, he did. You know, he was part of a tag team with Ty Dillinger, the Perfect 10, and then with Chad Gable as part of the American Alpha. So why not be an honorary Hardy Boy? Is what they said in the promo. But
he's an honorary uncle.
Well, the finish of the tag team match was Matt Hardy hitting the Twist of Fate on Bo Dallas to pick up the win. And I just wonder, Lance, if Bo Dallas should go back to Bo-leaving.
Yeah.
2.75 out of 5 is my score.
Yeah.
Up next, it was Elias taking on Apollo Crews. I still would like to know why Michael Cole is selling up Elias's musical career so much. I don't get it.
Kind of like the reason the Cash Me Outside, How About That Girl has a music contract. The world may never know.
Anyway, the match itself was okay, but the only thing to take away from this was Elias attacking Titus O'Neil during the match, and after the match, Titus would get a measure of revenge on Elias. The finish of the match was Elias hitting the drift away on Apollo to pick up the win, and I gotta say, look for a match between Titus and Elias next week, and I wonder how many times people can say that fast, Titus and Elias. 2 out of 5 is my score, Lance. What do you think?
My question is, when the hell was the last time Titus had a match?
Good point. That is a good point. But up next, it was Kurt Hawkins in his history machine. Do I need to go on? Do I really need? All right. I will. He got chased down by Braun Strowman and Strowman power slammed him through the screen on stage as Strowman demanded a match and got one with the lunatic fringe Dean Ambrose. See how much Kurt Hawkins is an impact on this. We mentioned him once, and that's all we need to talk about him. Now, for the actual match, I gotta say, Lance, it went as most Strowman matches go, with him dominating about 80% of the match, with Ambrose getting in a few shots when he could, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I mean, Grant, Dean looked as bad as strong as anybody else can when it comes to a match with Braun. And well, let's face it, Kurt Hawkins basically tried to run like a bitch and got dealt with like a bitch.
Well, when you have someone who's about 7 feet tall, 385 pounds, with a beard that could hide a small child in, wouldn't you run too?
Yeah.
Yeah, the finish of the match was... Strowman hitting the power slam on Ambrose to pick up the win. I'm going to go ahead and give this match as a 2.5 out of 5. What do you think?
Actually, I give it out a 3.5. Then again, I'm a big Dean fan, so...
Up next, Alexa Bliss was out there to gloat about her retaining the Raw Women's Championship. Now, if this was ever a time, since they did make the announcement that coming up at Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, which is going to be later in October, that Asuka would be making her Raw debut, wouldn't you think that they would start, like last night, building up an angle between Alexa Bliss and Asuka? Wouldn't you think that would be like a prudent thing to do? What do you think?
Problem with that, from what I hear, Alexa won't be her first opponent. Her first opponent will be Miss Sticky Fingers herself, Emma.
Why?
WWE logic.
Good point. Well, she was out there, Bliss was out there to gloat about her retaining the Raw Women's Championship at No Mercy until she got confronted by Mickie James over what Bliss called her on Raw Talk following the pay-per-view Sunday night, which was apparently old lady. Then Mickie James slapped and kicked Bliss in the face over that.
Yeah. And apparently said she still wears a training bra. Which, the look on her face, look at the clip up on YouTube, everyone. The look on her face is like, what?
I'm going to give the score I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5.
I'll be more charitable. I'll go 3 out of 5.
Up next, it was Seth Rollins taking on Sheamus. The only thing I could say about this is that the bar has been broken. And also missing some teeth, especially on Cesaro's part.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I heard about how he lost the teeth, you know, and I thought just the way it looked was bad, but it got actually pushed up into his jaw. I'm like, ow!
You know, I don't know what probably hurt more. The Mick Foley at at King of the Ring 97, or that one, because there are so many nerve endings in your gums.
Oof.
I'm not sure which would hurt more. I wouldn't want to have either one of them happen, but I'm not sure which would hurt more.
Now, the match wasn't really that bad, though. But the finish of the match was Rollins hitting the knee strike on Sheamus. I could have sworn I heard Corey Graves call it the King's Landing on Sheamus to pick up the win. I might have been hearing things, but Seth Rollins also plans on challenging Braun Strowman next week to kind of answer what Dean Ambrose did. Why? I don't know, but apparently that's something they're doing. I'm going to give it a score of 2.75 out of 5, Lance.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Up next, it was Roman Reigns taking on The Miz, and as expected, there was a lot of interference from the Miztourage, which is something we've come to expect in Miz's matches. Now, we talked about this earlier, Lance, about the teasing that WWE was doing about the reunification of the Shield. If it wasn't prevalent in the opening segment, there's definitely some hints there. We definitely got it, especially after the match was over, as the Miztourage took out Reigns, and after they stood over him, they did the Shield fist bump, which is again WWE teasing the full return of the Shield. And from the way it looks, Lance, if they're pulling the trigger for this, wouldn't it make sense for them to do this at TLC?
I'd say probably the next pay-per-view after that.
Survivor Series?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, guys, we're just speculating about this one. The finish of the match was Reigns hitting the spear on Miz to pick up the win, and next week Reigns has a shot at the Intercontinental Championship where we could see more hints at WWE reuniting the Shield. I'm gonna call you out right now. Quick prediction, Lance. Intercontinental Championship match. Do they keep it on Miz, or do they have Miz drop it to Roman Reigns?
Keep it, because they are fighting tooth and nail to make sure he basically with this whole longest reign gimmick bullshit.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that one. Up next, it was Goldust taking on Finn Balor. Now, this matchup was set up due to the attack by Goldust backstage on Balor. I really don't think that the match was anything special. However, after the match was over, we once again would hear Bray Wyatt's "He's Got the Whole World in His Hand" song sung by a child, which tells us the angle between Wyatt and Balor is far from over. But the one thing I don't understand is, Lance, is how can they carry this matchup to the next pay-per-view at TLC, because it can't be considered a rubber match because Balor won at SummerSlam and at No Mercy. So what direction could they go to keep this angle going?
WWE logic.
Once again, no argument from me on that one. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see where they go with that. The finish of the match was Balor hitting the coup de grace on Goldust to pick up the win. There's a kid in the background who watched Monday Night Raw last night, so I do apologize, but he's voicing his opinions about it. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 2 out of 5, Lance. What do you think?
3 out of 5.
Up next, it was Emma and Nia Jax taking on Sasha Banks and Bayley. Now, Lance, for me, for some odd reason, the way the segment went backstage with Bayley and Banks, I was kind of thinking one of them was going to turn on the other because of what happened at the Fatal 5-Way match at No Mercy.
Yeah, but then again, think about it. On the Raw side of things, you don't have that very many women faces.
Yeah, you got a point there. It was actually, for the tag team match, it was actually a decently worked match, but I'm still waiting on how they're going to work Asuka into an angle for her debut at TLC. Now, Lance already speculated earlier that the rumors that Emma is going to be the first person to challenge Asuka. It wouldn't be the first time because Emma and Dana Brooke were the first two people that she had an angle with in NXT. So it wouldn't really surprise me. But the finish of this match, however, was Bayley hitting the Bayley to belly on Emma to pick up the win. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5, Lance. What do you think?
Yeah, and we use the term challenge very loosely when it comes to Emma.
Pretty much. The main event segment of Raw this week was Enzo Amore's title celebration, but before he came out, he got Kurt Angle to agree to a no-contact clause in his contract, meaning if anyone touches him, they forfeit any chance at the Cruiserweight Championship, which to me, Lance, kind of sounds like something you would hear from a cowardly heel champion, wouldn't you think?
Which a cowardly heel that can talk like Enzo can. To quote Matt Hardy, wonderful, yes.
Enzo verbally berated the entire Cruiserweight division who were on stage until Neville came out and basically wiped out the new Cruiserweight champion. Now, what we didn't see when Raw went off the air, and this was shown on the Raw Fallout, and Lance, did you see this on their YouTube channel?
No, I didn't.
So you probably don't know what I'm talking about then.
I know Enzo got his ass whooped.
Oh yeah, but by first...
About full 205 live roster.
But before it was them, it was Braun Strowman who came out and power slammed him, then offered him up to the Cruiserweight division, who took turns beating Enzo. Now, I don't know about you, Lance, but this kind of makes me want to watch 205 Live tonight and see where they go with this.
Might not, I don't know.
Well, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 just because I basically enjoyed it. What about you?
Yeah, I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Overall score of Raw this week gets a 2.85 out of 5. Best segment of the night, definitely going to Enzo getting the crap beaten out of him, with worst segment of the night going to Bliss calling Mickie James an old lady. That's enough to start an angle these days, is to call someone old? Really? That's the best WWE creative could come up with, was to call Mickie James an old lady, and that's enough to start an angle? That's basically my beef with that, is the fact that she called her an old lady and that's enough to start an angle. Really. Well, that's just my opinion. Lance, what about you? What's your overall score and your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week?
Overall, I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. Kind of enjoyed it. Best, Enzo being Enzo and getting what Enzo gets. Worst, just because, well, I don't like his promos. They seem kind of dry to me. I'll give it to the Miz in that start.
Well, it's definitely going to be interesting to where they go with this and what happens next week with the Intercontinental Championship on the line, and whether or not we'll see more hints of a Shield reunification on next week's Monday Night Raw. But anyway, guys and gals, that's been our thoughts on Raw this week. We want to know from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw? Definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. If you guys like this video, be sure you slam that like button like a champ. Be sure you guys go over to youtube.com/LanceMossTV, where Lance, what can fans expect to see when they come visit you on YouTube?
Well, every Wednesday night I go live on Lance Moss TV and friends. I never know who's going to show up. And we just basically shoot the spit for about 2 hours, maybe longer. And every Friday I upload a video. Right now I'm in my Redneck Gourmet cooking series. Probably got 2 or 3 more weeks on that. So yeah, and don't forget to check me out on Twitter. It's at LanceMossTV.
Also, don't forget to check me out every day on the WGS Arcade at 9 a.m. Central Time. And don't forget Wrestle Down, the discussion of wrestling now, live every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Central Time right here on YouTube. So be sure you guys check that out as well. So with that being said, for the incomparable Lance Moss from Lance Moss TV, I'm your friendly neighborhood Wrestle Gamer, reminding all of you guys out there, stay awesome. Bye, guys.